Good evening. I'd like to call the Village Board meeting for October 16th, 2014 to order. And if I could please have Deputy Clerk DeTillo please do a roll call.
Trustee Berry,
Here.
Trustee Scott,
Here.
Trustee Barker,
Here.
Trustee Nero,
Here.
Trustee Seneca,
Here.
Acting Village Manager May,
Here.
Attorney Zemanek,
Here.
You'll also want to call those you know are absent.
Trustee Addington, Mayor Gunter, and Clerk Shimsky.
All right. If everybody please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, well, first we have a few open forums. I'd just like to remind everybody, please try to limit it to 3 minutes. And up first, we have Mr. Keith Sellers for a couple items.
Good evening, everyone. A quick congratulations to our newly married village board trustee over there, Steve Nero. Welcome to the life sentence. I'm here this evening to thank everybody in the village for the Oktoberfest we had at Holy Trinity. It was a great undertaking this year. We stretched it to 2 days. We had somewhere in the area of 2,200 to 2,500 people show up. We just had a lot of good feedback, and that help could not have been done without the village's help in every aspect, from the fire department, the police department and their security, the village board approvals, the clerk's department helping us with getting the liquor license, Jim over at Public Works helping us out, Larry and Christine over at Westmont Special Events jumping in and helping us out, Park John Chorney over at the Park District. Just so many people in this village that came together to help this be such a success for us. And we had great response this time from the village businesses. We had Sweet and Savory. We had Uncle Bub's helped out as well. I'm forgetting another big one. Oh, Urban Legend, of course, had brewed our Oktoberfest HT, which went over big time. So we just want to thank everybody for their efforts in coming out and enjoying. I saw Bob over there, and then we had to come out and help us toast and begin. We had Bruce, Sue, Steve. We had Patricia Belloc come out, our state rep, and Chris Nybo, our state senator, to launch things off with us, and it just was a really great event. And again, it couldn't have been done without all the help we get from right here. So we at Holy Trinity would like to thank you very much. On another note, I personally, through my crossing guard side job that I do here in Westmont, over at 65th and Cass, would like to thank Chief Mulhern and the police department for taking a very, very proactive stance there. And I can say that because I worked in another village in the area, and I won't say any names, Hinsdale, and basically, every time I call them, they come and they help out. They're on top of things. I mean, you would not believe how some of these drivers are around kids. You think people would be more cautious around kids versus adults, and they're not. And again, with the help of Chief there, we've had Deputy Chief Brenza come out and help us, and a lot of people are getting ticketed. So, all I could say to Westmont people, if it's you, wake up 5 minutes earlier to get to work. Otherwise, these guys are going to be on top of you. And for those of you who have children that go to the local schools, you should be very happy that we have the police department here that does that. Because again, I've worked elsewhere where to them it was more important not to bother the people that live there than to protect the kids. So thank you very much, Chief. You all have a great night. Enjoy your meeting.
Thank you. Thanks,
Thank
Keith. All right. Up next, we have Mr. Bill Baum.
Good evening. I'm Bill Baum. I live at 272 Oxford Avenue in Clarendon Hills. It's a half a block away from the Lexus dealer on Ogden Avenue, and I've been a neighborhood guy here since 1957, so. But I'm here tonight to bring an issue before the village board and represent the Westmont Landlord Association because Grace Snyder Kubica is in the hospital, so I'm here to represent the association. Last Friday, October 10th, the village water department exchanged the water meter at my property at 240 West Quincy. And I was not notified about this. Normally, I would think the village would send out a notification that work was going to be done at the building. But the only thing they did was they posted a notice on each of the unit doors addressed to the tenants advising that the water would be shut off at 1 o'clock on October 10th for an hour to do the job, to do the work, to exchange the meter. So on Friday, October 10th, a gentleman from the Westmont Fire Department opened the rear door of the building with the key from the lockbox to let the village workers in to do the service work. These are the gentlemen who entered the building, and the gentleman pointing is the gentleman from the fire department, at least according to the video I have. He stated his name and that he was representing the fire department, and the two gentlemen are the workers from the village. And here it is. He's opening the door to the building using the key from the lockbox, and then he's standing. The gentleman from the fire department is standing outside while the workers are going back and forth to the building to do the work. And this is the picture of the lockbox itself with the door open, showing that where he got the key to get access to the building. And I don't understand why the fire department opened that door. I have no objection to the village servicing the water meter. In fact, the meter that was in there was at my request. So anyway, currently the published Westmont Municipal Code that's published is actually a form of the adopted 2003 International Fire Code, and it reads, Section 506.2, the purpose of the rapid entry key box system is to allow the fire department to gain immediate access to the buildings in emergency situations without forcible entry. The key wording specifically is emergency situations. Recently, the village adopted the 2012 International Code, but no matter, Section 506.1 also states specifically that the key box is for immediate access for life-saving or firefighting purposes. They don't mention anything. Here's the code itself. It doesn't mention anything about entry for non-emergency services. So I think there's a communication problem here. I think that there is certainly a problem because using the key from the lockbox compromises the integrity of the system, and the building is then the security of the building is then compromised as well. And because the same key of this system opens many or possibly all the lockboxes across town, reduces the level of security and safety overall. Now, this is a concern. This is a concern with many property owners who have the lockbox because we give up a key to our building. So the remedy that I see is for my buildings, I'm going to change the key in my building, and I'm going to ask that the lockbox be rekeyed. And I'll give up another key, but only if it's rekeyed. And speaking for the Westmont Landlord Association, we request that all lockboxes in the town of Westmont be rekeyed. A new fire official sworn in that would be the responsible holder of the new lockbox key. That's part of the procedure, part of the system. If you read the code, there is a fire official responsible. So obviously, the current fire official that is responsible does not understand that it's only to be used for emergency services. And finally, we'd like the Westmont Police Department re-educated about accessing the building using a key from a building lockbox. I think there is a communication error there that the police department doesn't know about. The firebox system, the key boxes, it's called Knox box. It's a part of the fire alarm system. It's a requirement. And we're to give up a key to our properties. And the police department, I believe, and I'm not saying this, I'm just saying that the police department is under the impression that the fire department has the authority to open the building in a non-emergency situation. And that's just not the truth. Not according to the code, anyway. So right now, that's pretty much where I'm at. And I appreciate if the town would take action in the matter, certainly, because there are many people who would have concern. Their buildings are at risk right now.
Mr. Baum, we appreciate your comments and accept it, and we're aware of the complaint, before tonight too, so we have also spent the week, reviewing that as well. And,
Sure.
And certainly the fire department, happy to include you and be in contact with you regarding the specifics about your case as well as
Sure.
Establishing how it's done each and every time from now on as well.
Bottom line to it, and if you wouldn't mind, the meter they put in there was the incorrect meter. It's a 1-inch meter that measures per gallon, and the meter that was in there measures per 1,000 gallons, which is what we are billed at, 1,000-gallon,
Okay.
increments.
I'll make sure the water department's
If they would,
part of that meeting.
If they would, I really would appreciate being contacted.
Certainly.
So, thanks again for your time, and thanks.
Thanks for your input. All right, moving right along. I think that's it for open forum. I'll go into reports. The mayor left a couple items. First and foremost, I know Trustee Barker was there with me. The Ale Fest was a fantastic time. Larry's out there in the audience. It was really a great event. I had a great time. I know everybody there really did too, so I'm looking forward to the next one we do, and I'm sure it'll be just as good. But Bruce will probably get you some more info on that coming up in his report. And the last item is just a little recap on the State of the Village address. Wanted to thank the Westmont Chamber of Commerce and everybody involved for this event and presentation. It was held last Wednesday at the Hilton, the new Hilton, Oak Brook Hills. There's a lot of good information presented, and most importantly, there's a recording of this presentation on the Village YouTube channel. Also will be played on Comcast Channel 6 and AT&T's Channel 99. And that's all I have, so I'll just move right on to the acting village manager.
Thank you. A couple things. Firstly, I wanted to mention that although we were expecting it earlier in the week, we do expect Governor Quinn will be making a presentation to both the Westmont Park District and Woodridge with a $2.5 million grant, and he will be doing that the Saturday at Ty Warner at the gazebo at 4:45 on Saturday, and that's the current schedule, and the mayor wanted me to make sure you were all aware of that. With the, I wanted to talk about the meeting dates if we could. The next scheduled village board meeting and paired with the Public Works Committee meeting is scheduled to meet on October 30th. I circulated some information about the conflict with the 100 Club event that was going on and looking for alternatives to that date because both, not only both chiefs and members of the village board like to attend that as well. So I was looking for alternative dates. I was originally circulating the Tuesday before, but there's different conflicts with that. So we don't necessarily have to pick tonight, but if we're going to consider rescheduling, our best opportunity is the Wednesday night before October 29th, and if that's immediately okay, I know it's all right with the mayor, and we can plan that. I'll check with Trustee Addington, and I guess if I put it a different way, are there any concerns with Wednesday, the 29th? Otherwise, that would be the plan to reschedule.
Fine with me.
On that subject,
Yes, sir.
I do have concerns with the early starting and the early committee meetings. They seem like they're getting more and more difficult to attend. I know trustee Nero has trouble making, trustee Scott has trouble making them. So it's something I think that maybe we need to review, if we maybe possibly need to do the committee meetings the night before, because just very difficult to have the trustee input, and so that'd be something I'd like to see us
Yeah.
take another look at.
And with that, the mayor was very
It's a good idea.
keen to all that when they were talking about the early schedule and whether or not to keep it. The number of meeting nights could change and have the committee meetings on a different schedule, which is, brings up another good question, not for tonight, but we have to lay out the 2015 schedule right away as well. And what was the other point? Or the committee meetings could be after the board meeting, like they were years ago, if they were on the same night. Takes away from the purpose of having the early meeting.
Wouldn't staff have to wait till after the board meeting at that point then, which would,
That is one of the conflicts, but we
that would
will.
be pretty tough.
I like the idea the night before, or a different day, or,
Again, if we're
Any-
not going to go back to the 7:30, it seemed to work really well in the summer. It just seems like it's a little more difficult on a consistent basis.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll start with this meeting on the 29th, and when we look at the 2015 schedule, we'll look at that as well, because we will only have one meeting in November because of the Thanksgiving conflict, and I believe December as well. There's one meeting, so
Okay.
So will we do the
solve
public,
that January 1.
public works will be though before the meeting on the 29th? Keep
That's
that
the
as is?
plan. That's how we'd
Okay.
like to publish it.
Unless that changes.
Okay,
And our invited guests need to,
so,
yeah.
all right.
so the meeting will be the 29th of October, or pending
I-
the clerk's availability and trustee Addington's availability?
Yes, for planning purposes tonight, it'll be on the 29th, and I'll let you know differently if that does not pan out.
Okay,
29th is fine with me as well.
yeah, it's
All right,
fine.
thank you. We had some other activity if anybody was in the downtown. Actually, it was kind of seamless, but we had some pretty significant tree replanting. So what we call our Holidays tree at the depot, as well as a new tree, large diameter tree, evergreen, professionally transplanted into Mary Egan Park as well. So there was two very nice placements in there, and it looks great. So, looking forward to the Holidays events this year. With that, if we could, Larry Forrestboard and/or Larry McIntyre, either Larry that would care to do it. There were some special events coming up, too, that I'd like to update on.
Thank you. There are a few upcoming events over the next several weeks that we want to make a note of, and I'll do this in chronological order. I'll start with the Stuff a Truck event. We've been working for the last few weeks to raise funds and food donations for the People's Resource Center. I want to put a plug in. If you go to the Westmont Chamber website and click on that Stuff a Truck logo, you can go and see the list of items that are sorely needed. But I also want to put a plug. There's a link there for making donations, cash donations. People's Resource Center has such huge buying power. They can take $1 and turn it into $4. They're that good. So a cash donation of $10 or $20 goes a long way towards meeting this goal. So I just want to put a plug in for that. We'll be downtown on October 25th between 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. collecting items to stuff the truck to send over to the People's Resource Center. And again, our goal for that is to raise 40,000 pounds of food, which will basically take the pantry through about 1 month. So stuff the truck, everybody participate, please. Following that, on the same day, we have the trick-or-treat trail. That's throughout downtown Westmont. We're going to have about 50 businesses participating in the trick-or-treat trail. I understand the weather forecast is going to be absolutely beautiful in Westmont that day. It's between 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. We're going to have judges out there randomly handing out prizes for costumes. So we invite all families to come to downtown Westmont and enjoy a safe and enjoyable Halloween event. Later on that day, we have the Haunted Forest Trail over at Twin Lakes Woods. That event will start at 5:30 to 6:30. They have a time set aside for younger children, not quite as scary, but still a lot of fun. And then it will go through that evening up until, I believe it's 9 p.m. at Twin Lake Woods. If you want further information, go to the Westmont Park District website, and the phone number is 963-5252 for further details on that. Also, we have coming up the Rotary Club is going to have a cabaret on November 2nd. That's going to be at the Taiwanese Cultural Center. It's going to be a 6 o'clock dinner. We're going to have a beautiful spread of food there. And we have this cabaret group that's been coming in doing this presentation for the last 3 years. They are just absolutely enjoyable. Tickets are available at the Westmont Rotary website, and they're $50 per person, and that includes food and the entertainment for the evening. Last but not least, we have the Westmont Rotary Ugly Sweater 5K and Walk. This is going to be on Small Business Saturday, right in downtown Westmont. Basically, the theme, as you can tell, is bring your ugly holiday sweater and wear it with pride. I'm sure everybody's got one or knows where they can find one. And the registration right now is online, at the Westmont Rotary Club.org website. You can sign up for that race. So as you can see, there's a lot of great activities coming up. And as we go further into our next meetings, we'll be talking more about the Holidays event, which is right around the corner. Thank you very much.
Larry, just quickly, the Stuff a Truck program, I noticed that La Petite Suite they have something going on where if you bring things there, they'll give you a medium coffee complimentary for bringing the food. I wondered if
Exactly
other
true.
businesses are doing stuff.
We do have, another example would be Tap House Grill. If you go in there, you bring in a donation, they'll give you a free dessert.
Great.
So if you look at our chamber website, we have about 60 businesses that are signed up. There's a drop box here at Village Hall. There's one at the Park District, one at the library, one at the chamber, and on and on and on. So we've seen a lot of great participation, and there's some benefit in doing that for rewards like that. So thank you for mentioning that. Thank you.
Okay, let's just go back to acting village clerk.
I just have one announcement. There's going to be early voting starts October 20th, and the closest place to go for early voting is the village of Downers Grove, which is on Burlington Avenue. It's in the same building or the same parking lot with the police station. So, and that starts October 20th. The hours are quite extensive. They're from 8:30 in the morning to 7:30 p.m., Monday through Friday, and they do have some times on Saturday from 8, I think it's 8 or 8:30 to 5 on Saturdays. And that goes to November 1st.
Okay, our village attorney.
Thanks, nothing tonight.
All right, and before I go to trustees, I just wanted to fill in something for trustee Addington, just to give the public an update that the funding mechanism for the community stormwater infrastructure, we're still working out the details on the public education campaign. There is going to be several meetings at different locations in January and leading up to the vote. We'll get more of those details out as they're available. And again, citizens will vote on this come April 7th of next year. So we'll have more information as soon as we have it available. We'll let everybody know. And that's all he had. So I'll start with trustee Parker.
A couple of things. I wanted to just thank the folks that, allowed the Ale Fest to happen here in Westmont. Westmont First was behind this just because we were able to turn it into a benefit for the Chamber Education Foundation. It wasn't that we needed another party, but it was a great event, and it was a benefit to them. And I want to thank all those people that came out and supported it. And I also wanted to mention that last night, Westmont First had a meeting here, and we got deeper into the Neighborhood Pride Program. It's important that people know in the next few weeks, there'll be a mailer delivered to their doorstep, hung on their door, and we're asking everybody to take that information. It's critical to the community of Westmont, and it covers a lot of topics. One of them that's on the screen here is the Adopt a Hydrant program. Another one is an alley cleanup program. We have a blockhead program where we're asking people to be leaders in their neighborhood. And it's all geared around creating neighborhood pride and creating a community that cares about what's going on next door or across the street to help each other out. We feel that our community is a perfect example of this, and we just want to grow those good things that are going on in the neighborhoods into the other areas of town. So we're excited about that. The Adopt a Hydrant program, I was excited to learn that we brought this out at the fire department open house. It's now available online. The form has been created, and that has been finalized. And we do have, Mr. McIntyre can tell us, we do have a number of signups already.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we have over 20 people already signed up, and it only went on to the website officially today with this form. So we sort of had a pre-sign up. If you're interested, just send us your information. So we'll now send all those folks this specific link. You can download this form from the website. We ask people to fill that out. They can drop it off at the Village Hall or mail it in. And there's 4 different levels of adoptions. The first level there is the community safety adoption, which is free of charge, and we're just asking people to keep their hydrants snow-free and weed-free during the summer. Basically, just help out our fire department all year long, making sure that in case there's a fire, they can easily find that hydrant. And then the second level there is the community safety adoption plus a flag. So for $10, we'll attach a safety flag onto that hydrant. The third level is where it starts to get fun, and you see this painted fire hydrant here, which is a minion from the movie Despicable Me, but people will be allowed to design.
I'd like to say that was very popular at the fire department open house. When they saw that,
Absolutely is.
all the kids there wanted one.
There was even a
Christmas
suggestion, what if our whole town had that, so no matter what street you drive on, you see
Might have to
minions
get a
all over
license
town.
for
But
that.
But we'll actually allow the people who do the adoption to design their hydrant. They'll have to submit their design to the Water Division, and then Westmont First will also take a look at it, and that's for a fee of $50. That cost goes directly just to take care of expenses, and so that's the paint and the maintenance. It's a 3-year adoption, so for $50, you will be able to adopt a hydrant, design it, paint it, and it will be your hydrant for 3 years. And then the final adoption is if businesses want to get involved. We have what we're referring to as the corporate sponsorship. So for $75, a business can adopt a hydrant and then work with a local organization to do the painting and the maintenance.
Cool.
So all of this is online. You can download this form immediately and sign up and claim ownership of a hydrant on your block.
All right.
Cool.
That is all.
All right,
Thank you.
Trustee Seneca?
Thank you. Couple of things. First of all, congratulations on your marriage.
Thank you.
Very nice. We've got the best police and fire because everything I have tonight has to do with that. The Westmont Citizens Police Academy alumni will be hosting, in conjunction with Lisa Madigan's office, the Attorney General's office, a presentation on consumer fraud awareness. So the Attorney General will be out here, her office, and they'll be doing the presentation. It's open to the public. It will be on November 10th at 7 o'clock at the Police Department at 500 North Cass. People must arrive by 7:05, and it's free to the public. So be there on time, or you might not be able to get in, but it'll be a great presentation. Consumer fraud is something we all, have heard about and need to be aware of how to prevent it. So that'll be a great one. Also wanted to say congratulations to our fire department. Best fire department around, no question. I missed, because I had a wedding the day, I missed the open house, but I heard it was absolutely wonderful. I heard it was fabulous. So congratulations on that, and thank you for doing that. Also, the silent parade that following Friday, I guess, was very, very touching, as it always is, and well-attended and very well orchestrated. So those were 2 very important things. And lastly, Halloween, October 31st, it's a Friday. Police Department is recommending that we do the trick-or-treating, that the kids are out between 2 and 7, and, it starts getting dark so early. So between 2 and 7 is a really good time to have your kids out. It's a great time for you to answer the door and have treats for those kids. And most importantly, the police say, please be safe. And that's all I have.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Trustee Barrett?
I just have a couple things this evening, mostly from the EIC. We have the Green Business and Residential Recycling Contest is on. I've been going over this last couple board meetings. People can sign up now through November 3rd. Winners will receive various awards, including gift certificates to local restaurants and 1 month of free waste hauling, up to $500 for the businesses. All awards will be sponsored by Waste Management. To sign up for the contest, get a hold of Larry McIntyre at 630-981-6245, or you can reach him at westmontillinois.gov. Also from the EIC, this Saturday will be the electronics recycling. It is going to be from 8 to noon at the Downers Grove Township, and that is located at 318 East Quincy Street. So right down the street from Bales Hardware. You can drop off your electronics for free at this event. And then again, there's more information at the village website, westmont.illinois.gov. And that's all I have this evening.
Thank you. Trustee Scott?
Thank you. Concerning economic development, Ultima Motorsports will be opening at 150 West Ogden Avenue next week. That's in the old Chevy dealership. Daryl Gruder's Interior Design at 143 South Cass Avenue will host an open house and ribbon cutting on October 23rd from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. Please RSVP to the Westmont Chamber if you're going to come. And then last, we have the Elmhurst Hospital Walk-In Clinic. We'll have a ribbon cutting on October 22nd at 8 a.m. at the ASCO at 4 East Ogden Avenue. And if anybody's been in the Jewel lately, you'll see how it's being remodeled totally. It's pretty sharp. So, and that's it. Thank you, and congratulations on the way.
Thank you. Moving right along, number 6, any items to be removed from the consent agenda? All right, hearing none, I'll ask Acting Village Manager May to read the consent agenda.
All right, thank you. Within the consent agenda, the first item is village board minutes. Board to consider approval of the minutes of the village board meeting held on October 2nd, 2014. Next is finance ordinance number 13 in the amount of $1,513,191.46. Next is purchase orders. There are several. First purchase order, Monroe Trucking, $52,229 is for the equipment for Water Tour 1 is the utility truck. We already purchased the truck and the chassis. This is the equipment box that for that vehicle. Next purchase order is Westmont Chamber of Commerce, $24,000, represents Westmont Auto Mile contribution and membership. Next purchase order is for Vidido Tree Experts regarding our contracted help with the removal of the emerald ash borer affected trees that we have throughout the community. That was in the amount of $68,540, representing 181 trees. Another purchase order, we use more than one crew from Vidido with their availability. So the next purchase order for Vidido Tree Experts is for the removal of 47 trees in the amount of $22,103. Next purchase order is Harris Computer Corporation, $21,217.40. It's for the annual maintenance fee for our finance software. Next purchase order for Don Morris Architect, $18,981.18. That is for plan review and inspection services for permit-related work. Those are costs that are all passed through. Next purchase order is Tim's Pro Painting, $18,600 for interior painting and trim at the Westmont Center in the common areas. Next purchase order, Western Gradall, grading of various areas for stormwater management, which is essentially the ditching and grading for those types of activities. That's in the amount of $15,000. It's an open purchase order in that amount. Next purchase order is Black Box Network Services, $9,739 for the annual phone system maintenance here for the village. Next purchase order, Seco Consultants, $9,526. That is for the testing and inspection services for the 2014 fall resurfacing project. And we don't usually, call it fall because we're normally had one per year, but as many of you know, we have two projects per year now with the catch up with the bond issue and the mass resurfacings that we'll be doing. So this purchase order is for the fall project that's actually going on now. Anybody that parked out in front of the Village Hall saw, Quincy Street in construction. And I point that out because later on the agenda, we're going to have, I suppose I should just bring it up then, but we'll be referring to the other project. Last purchase order is for Edward Hospital, $6,401.50, and that represents physicals for new hires. Therefore, the total of purchase orders is $266,337.08. But I need to point out when the agenda was published, even though it was the same list of 11 POs, the total that was on that published agenda was in a higher amount and represented a 12th PO that is not on the agenda tonight. That'll be at the next meeting, 29th or 30th, whatever it is. Therefore, the total of purchase orders and finance ordinance number 13 is $1,779,928.54. Continuing with the consent agenda, our community events. First event is the 2014 Trick or Treat Trail that you heard described a little bit earlier. Board to consider approving the following requests for the Westmont Chamber of Commerce Trick or Treat Trail and the People's Resource Center Stuff a Truck event on Saturday, October 25th, 2014, between 11 o'clock a.m. and 1 p.m. The request represents partial closure of the commuter parking lot on Cass and Burlington. I assume that's the south third of the parking lot?
Yes, it is, the south one-third of the parking lot.
An amplified sound permit. And I'm going to describe the other event, and then you can cover them. And next would be the 2014 Holidays 5K and Parade. Board to consider approving the following requests for the Westmont 2014 Holidays celebration. Includes permit amplified sound in the downtown business district on November 29th from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. for Holidays events. Also closing the first block of West Quincy Street on November 29th, 2014 from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. for the Holidays events. Close Cass Avenue from Traube to 55th Street on November 29th, 2014 from 4:45 to 7 o'clock p.m. for the Frosty and Friends Night Parade and the tree lighting ceremony. And lastly, close off various sections of several streets between Burlington Avenue and Traube, west of Cass Avenue on November 29th from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. to accommodate the Holidays 5K Family Run Walk. Would you like to describe the events?
Well, specifically.
The request?
Specifically the Trick or Treat Trail and the Stuff a Truck event. Normally, we don't close off any part of the parking lot for the Trick or Treat Trail. The exception this year is that we're doing the Stuff a Truck event, and we wanted someplace prominent where we could locate the truck. So we plan on putting the People's Resource Center truck in that south one-third of the parking lot, so it'll be very visible to those coming to the downtown. And plus, obviously, we wanted an easy entry point for people to come in, drop things off, and then we can kind of move them right back out into the community without any real challenges or problems.
So unless there were any questions for Mr. Forsberg, that concludes the consent agenda.
Any other questions? Nope. Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So move, Seneca?
Second, Scott.
On the question, hearing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Barker,
Yes.
Trustee Barry,
Yes.
Trustee Nero,
Yes.
Trustee Scott,
Yes.
Trustee Seneca.
Yes.
Okay, moving on, number 8, unfinished business, we don't have anything, so we'll go right to number 9, new business. A, 325 South Park Street, variance approval request. Board to consider an ordinance approving the following zoning code variance request from Linda Slapika to rebuild a garage in the R3 single-family detached residential district. 1, zoning code variance to permit the construction of an accessory structure on a lot with lot coverage greater than the 35% maximum allowed. 2, zoning code variance to allow the construction of an accessory structure less than 10 feet from the principal structure. Village Planner Ziegler.
Thank you. The applicant would like to replace her existing garage in the same location. If she were to move the garage from her home to meet the 10-foot required side yard setback, it would place the garage in the side yard setback or in a low depression area on her property, increasing its lot coverage. Due to our concerns about locating it within 10 feet, the applicant added fire rating materials to the garage that have been accepted by the fire department. And while lot coverage is more than the maximum allowed, the hard surface is reduced with the new garage, and the applicant has also offered to install a rain garden in the rear yard just behind the garage. The Planning and Zoning Commission made a unanimous positive recommendation due to the fact that she reduced lot coverage. The contractor would add fire rating materials, and the applicant would build a rain garden in the backyard, and that she has a unique situation and was increasing the value of her property and neighborhood. If you have any questions, I'm available, and the applicant is here in the audience
Has
as
this
well.
property had other variances on it? It seems like it has.
No, I don't believe so, not in the past.
No, there's not for the shed or anything like that? There was not any? for
That
the
was
deck?
another
Yes,
property
that was a
that
different
was
one.
in front of planning and zoning at the last meeting, but not this property.
Okay.
Correct, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good, thank you.
That one will be coming in the future, too.
Jill?
And we do have a resident there that has flooding concerns in this block, correct?
Not on the corner lot, yes.
Corner.
Mhm.
Okay.
And the applicant has stated that there's been issues in the alley.
Okay, the applicant has?
Yes.
Okay, all right, very well.
What is the total lot coverage then? It's greater than 30?
38.8% is what's proposed.
Proposed.
And that's less than what currently
Right,
exists.
right.
Because the garage is.
I did
being-
watch the meeting, I just couldn't remember.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, hearing none, call for a motion.
So move Seneca?
Second, Parker.
On the question, roll call, please.
Trustee Barker?
Yes.
Trustee Barry?
Yes.
Trustee Nero?
Yes.
Trustee Scott?
Yes.
Trustee Seneca?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, good luck with the garage. Moving on, B, funded state and local task force agreement. Board to consider an ordinance approving a funded state and local task force agreement between the Village of Westmont and the Drug Enforcement Administration. Chief?
It's gonna take a
I
minute.
moved his chair, he doesn't know what to do.
He needed GPS.
I need a map on how to get up here. Sorry, I apologize.
GPS.
It's all right.
The board is asked to approve an agreement between the Village of Westmont Police Department and the DEA, Drug Enforcement Administration, to allow a Westmont officer to be temporarily assigned to a task force officer with the DEA. The Westmont Police Department has been offered the opportunity to have an officer temporarily assigned as a task force officer with the DEA. This opportunity and position was discussed and approved at previous Public Safety Committee meetings and has been budgeted. Staff recommends approval of this request. This is something that's been wished for by our department for many, many years, even going back to when there was a Citizens Financial Committee. I think Trustee Nero, you were chair of that committee at that time. And one of the things we came back was if we can get an officer on a task force. And we waited until we had this position budgeted. We did not want to apply because we wanted to make sure we had all our ducks in a row. After the budget was passed in May, we approached the DEA, put our name on a list. And approximately 3 weeks ago, I was contacted that they have a task force position open in the Chicago suburb, and they offered us that position. And to go along with that position, we're asking the board to approve an intergovernmental agreement, an agreement between the DEA, Drug Enforcement Administration, and the Westmont Police Department, allowing and setting the guidelines for the use of this officer by the DEA. This officer would not so much leave the department, but be considered temporary duty. He would no longer report to the department. He would report to the task force office and work out of there. So basically, we would be losing one officer from the department. The officer is chosen by the DEA. We have 6 officers that have submitted letters of interest and resumes. Things are moving very fast and furious. It's very possible that if they select this person next week, we talked to them about having interviews next week, our person could be there as early as November. And part of this is as well, too, is that the department would get a fantastic training opportunity. The task force is made up with other officers from other towns as well as other DEA agents. It would also allow us another contact for assistance. We hope that in the event that, we were doing a drug investigation, we could also tap into that as an assistance base. The training we will see, and then the other issue is asset forfeiture. That when there's a drug arrest, if there's any assets seized, and the judge awards the assets, either a home, a car, or actually cash or whatever, that goes back to the department. We are currently sitting on, within a 30-day time period, an appeal process of an asset forfeiture for a street arrest, nothing to do with the DEA, involving a vehicle and cash in excess of $25,000. So with all that taken into something the police department is very, very excited about. I have 6 officers who are very, very excited about this opportunity too. And we think it's a benefit not only for the DEA, but it's also a benefit for the Village of Westmont.
Any comments?
So,
Sounds
John, I
great.
guess maybe I have a question for you. If we want to approve without the new hiring, until we get a full board, how would you want me to go about that? Send a motion and take that out of it?
If you want to approve this agreement without addressing the new hire whatsoever, the new, to replace this
I'd like to
person-
table the new hire.
Okay, so the new hire was budgeted, but nothing's,
There's no, right now, there's nothing in front of the board, no action. This is just the agreement between the village and the DEA. Has nothing to do with the 39th or the extra officer. That is something that, it's a budgeted item. It'd have to be brought up in front of the board. I would either imagine either by a trustee or staff can bring it up if they want to rediscuss that budgetary issue.
But it's still a good question in that I've already authorized the Police and Fire Commission to, replace that position and continue that search. So if we need to redirect their efforts, the sooner the better.
But it is
Should we
budgeted,
need separate, it is budgeted.
so
and
it's in the
not-
budget already.
So it's just a policy
Okay.
discussion that we would have, and I don't know,
Just was hoping that there'd be more discussion and maybe a full board to discuss that as far as the hiring aspect of it.
well, one option, because that's not on the agenda, but certainly you're free to discuss it tonight. So if you want to approve this agreement, we can put it on maybe the next meeting agenda when we will have, I think, a full board. And talk about the, or, I don't know when public safety meets next, but that's an option also.
Not until, long time.
January.
January.
Oh,
Wait till the next board meeting?
But we need this approved tonight.
Yeah, this has nothing to
Yes.
do, it's just
Yeah.
separate, so.
Okay, again, I just read there that it's budgeted and, and as is the hiring of the new officer to replace the task force. So again, just wanted to clarify on that.
Yeah, it's a budgeted, by budget position, yes, the replacement is, but this was also something that was spoken in the budget. We earmarked our revenues towards this based on that the position being in there, based on the asset forfeitures we would receive.
will you let Chairman Cavanda know that we're looking into that further tomorrow?
Their process right now is they're still moving. They're going to give us, as soon as they do their thing on Tuesday, a list of candidates. It depends. We can do our background checks on all the candidates that they give us. It's
That's true.
after that point that is to determine how many they wish to forward, one or two. So we still have a lot of time for that.
Great.
Yeah, they're not going to be hiring someone between now and the next meeting by any stretch. There are a number of steps to go through.
Well, the closest we're going to be to hiring somebody probably won't be until January.
Good. All right, do I have a motion then?
Motion approved, Scott.
Second, Barry?
On the question, hearing none, roll call?
Trustee Barker?
Yes.
Trustee Barry?
Yes.
Trustee Nero?
Yes.
Trustee Scott?
Yes.
Trustee Seneca?
Yes.
All right, we're getting through this here. C, motor fuel tax resurfacing project, change in plans number 1, final. Board to consider an ordinance approving a request for approval of change in plans, change order number 1, and final for the 2014 spring motor fuel tax resurfacing project. Acting Manager May.
Thank you. This is what I was referencing earlier in the night. This is a change order that represents the work that was done in the spring project earlier this year. The first thing I need to note, I don't know why anybody would, but anybody that was paying attention to what the Illinois Department of Transportation, their numbering system, when you approved the contract, it was contract section number 1401 GM, and GM starts for general maintenance. They have since changed the section number, and therefore this change order is for section 14104 RS, and RS stands for resurfacing. I totally understand the numbering system. I don't understand why they wanted to change it in the middle of the project, so I just wanted that understood. The project is awarded, and it's what we call a unit price project, so the individual line items on there, and just one example, it's like they bid on a price for 1 ton of asphalt, and then you measure how much you actually put in. You have an estimated quantities when you go out to bid, but you measure it as it's built in the field. So when we're all done, we measure and count and inventory all the field quantities and everything that was provided, and the change order, after final quantities were measured, reflect a net increase in the contract of $4,603.70, which is approximately 0.3 of 1% from the original contract amount. The final contract amount is therefore $1,581,927.18. just need your approval so they can get their final payment.
Motion to approve, Barry.
Second, Barker.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Barry.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Scott.
Yes.
Trustee Seneca.
Yes.
Okay, moving along. Anything for miscellaneous?
Just like to comment that the mayor did an excellent job this evening, the acting
Right.
mayor. All right, yeah, that was excellent.
See what marriage does?
And
Acting mayor.
I'd like to comment that the deputy clerk did a great job.
Yeah, see how I am? Sorry about that.
I think she did a better job.
She actually did a better job. Sorry, Steve.
And I think they
All
both
right.
better be a little nervous.
Under an hour, though, not too bad. All right, and we don't have a request for executive session. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move Seneca.
Second, Scott.
Roll call?
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Barry.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Scott.
Yes.
Trustee Seneca.
Yes.
All right, meeting is adjourned.
Yay, I think that's a world.